did I read? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jamila, and today I'm going to share with you guys what I read in the month of September. In September, I participated in the Avatar: The Last Airbender readathon, and it was so fun. I really enjoyed myself. I was a host, and I hosted for the Water Tribe. We did not win. We came in second place. The Earth Kingdom won. They beat us. I'm so sad we lost, but it was just so much fun and so worth it. I enjoyed rewatching Avatar. It was amazing. I kind of want to watch it again, even though I just watched the whole series. I'm thinking about maybe buying the comics because I've never read them, so that should be interesting. I just really enjoyed this so much, and I want to thank Maylee's for choosing me to be a host because it was just so fun, and it was my first readathon, and I'm gonna remember this forever. So Water Tribe, you did an amazing job. We didn't lose by that much. You know, we did our best, and we're still an amazing tribe, okay? We did what we could, and next time we'll kill it if there's a next time. But yeah, let's get into the books I read this month for the Avatar: The Last Airbender readathon. The first book I read in September was On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. So On the Come Up was not part of the Avatar: The Last Airbender readathon, but I did attempted to do a buddy read with one of my booktube friends, and I freaking love this book so much. But that was to be expected because I love The Hate U Give. I love Angie Thomas's writing, and I love how relatable her writing is to me. It's just amazing, wonderful, fantastic, highly recommend. But if you did not know, this book is about a girl named Bree, and she really wants to become a rapper. Her father was a rapper before he got killed, and it's her life dream to be a professional rapper. So of course this brings its challenges with the neighborhood she's growing up in and the issues she has to face as a young Black woman. I highly enjoyed this book. I thought that I related so much to The Hate U Give, which I totally did, but I found On the Come Up to be even more relatable to me just because the financial struggles that Bree's household is going through. I could just really relate to that feeling of being a kid and being in school and wanting to help your family through financial struggles and being unable to, and you know, being in situations where your lights, electricity, and things like that are turned off. You got food in the fridge. Like, it was just very relatable in so many ways, and I just highly enjoyed it and highly recommend it, especially if you love The Hate U Give. And of course, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because it was fantastic. It was great. I loved it. Yes. The next book I read was Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. I did enjoy this book. It was more so an average read just because obviously this isn't a book in my age range necessarily, so it had more of that young suspension of disbelief type of thing going on, which I didn't mind at all. I found the book to be fairly enjoyable, but this book is about a girl named Delilah, and she is really obsessed with this specific fairy tale book, and even more so when she realizes that the characters in this book, and when the book is open, they play out the story that the book is about. And so she realizes this and becomes even more obsessed with this book, and everyone around her thinks she's like crazy. They think she's reeling from her dad leaving and abandoning her and her mom, and she has depression and all these things. Her mom is like, you're this age, you're 16, you're 17, however old she was. I think she was 16. You're this old and you're still reading kids fairy tales. You're obsessed with this kid fairy tale, like something is wrong. That's kind of how that goes, and she falls in love with a book character, and it's just the story from there and her wanting to get this book character out of his book. Definitely relatable in the sense that we've all fallen in love with a book character, I'm sure. Probably not to Delilah's level, but we have. Things I did like about this book were just like how it mentions things like depression, and it's okay to need therapy and to go to a therapist, and just like challenging the age appropriateness of books and who's allowed to read what, because everyone should be allowed to read what they want to read. I gave this book 3.5 stars. It was enjoyable. It wasn't like a super favorite or anything, but I really enjoyed the fluffiness of the story, and all the illustrations inside the book made it really fun to read. The next book I read it in 2 days, which I don't even understand because this book is over 500 pages. I read Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which is great because I love when I read a series and I enjoy the books more and more as it goes along. Loved being back in this world and back in Laini Taylor's writing. Her writing is so, it's just so, I don't know how to explain it, like it just really reels you in. I feel like for me it's the perfect type of writing for my personality. I think I really like the setting in Days of Blood and Starlight more than in Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Being more with the chimera and all of those things was just more interesting to me. And oh my god, I hate Thiago so much. I feel like enough said. Just saying that, I freaking hate Thiago. So yeah, I just had to put that out there. But I love Susanna. I gave this a 4 stars. Yeah, I gave it around 4 stars. The next book I read in September was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I enjoyed this. I thought the writing or some of the lines in the book were really beautiful, and kind of makes you reflect a little bit. As far as the actual storyline, there wasn't really much of anything there in that regard, but there were a lot of really great lines that made this definitely worth reading for me. I liked the character Malachi. I liked Imani for the most part. Yeah, I liked Imani. I liked her, and I loved more than anything, the cooking, like when they're talking about cooking and the little recipes in here, and just the magical, like, what do you call that, magical realism going on in the book that kind of isn't acknowledged, but it's just seen as just being a thing. Like with Imani's cooking, when people eat her food, they're overtaken by emotions or specific memories when they eat her food. So I thought that was just so cool. But yeah, it had a lot of beautiful lines to match the outside of this book, and the outside of this book is absolutely freaking gorgeous. I gave this book 4 stars. The next book I have here is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. I'm sure y'all can guess what I gave this, which was 5 stars. I really did enjoy every time I picked up this book, but I was having an issue actually reaching for it, which is completely weird. I just think I wasn't completely in the Harry Potter mood. I did really enjoy it. I gave it 5 stars. It's Harry Potter, come on. I definitely think that I need to make sure I'm in the mood before I read, because I don't know, I guess I was at this point, I was starting to kind of go into a slump, so that's probably why. But it was so good, and I love learning about Tom Riddle. That's one of my favorite parts of the series, so yeah, it was so good. I definitely recommend the series for anybody, whether you're adult or kid. The next book I read in the month of September was Now I Rise by Kiersten White. And this is the second book in the And I Darken series, which is actually, I think it's called The Conquerors. I don't know, something about conquerors. I can't remember. But this book was pretty good. The beginning of the book, I wasn't as interested, just to be honest. Like, I was just like, like, I'm not super crazy about it. But as the book went on, I definitely got more into it. I got more into the characters and the new characters, and just all of these interactions just became so much more like, I was just so much more into it. I don't know how to explain it. It definitely picked up for me, about 1/3 of the way through the book, and I ended up really enjoying it from that point on. So since I didn't super enjoy it from the very beginning. I gave this book around 3.75 stars. It was enjoyable, it just like wasn't my favorite or anything. I think I may have enjoyed the first book a little more. Then again, I really liked how interesting the war parts of this book were. But if you don't know what Anti-Darken is about, it's about this super vicious, super cutthroat girl named Lotta. And she is from Wallachia. Her father's awful. She has a sweet little brother named Raju. It's about him too. And pretty much he ends up selling them technically to the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, and they end up growing up and living under the Ottomans. Lotta is obsessed with her home country, Wallachia, and she wants to rule there, so that's her ultimate goal. It's a very intriguing historical fiction. That could have been another thing about this. I'm not a huge historical fiction person, so for me to even be reading this series is like crazy. But yeah, the next book that I read during the month of September was The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just amazing. I did not think a book could live up to the Avatar universe, but it definitely did. I loved learning so much about Kyoshi that I did not know, and kind of being a little shook by everything that was revealed about her family and her, I guess, becoming the Avatar and her friends and just all this. I was shook. There were moments when I was reading and I was like, wow, like if Avatar The Last Airbender was allowed to be a little bit more violent and a little bit more dark, the potential would be crazy. I mean, it's perfect the way it is as well, but I don't know, it just really opened my eyes like, whoa, what? I just cannot wait for the next one. If you are an Avatar The Last Airbender fan, you definitely need to pick this up as soon as possible because it's amazing and it's so freaking worth it. I just always was curious about Kyoshi. She was so tall and she had big feet and she just seemed like such a badass. And so yeah, I can't wait until the next one comes out. It's supposed to be a duology, I think, so I'm super excited. This was the group book for the Avatar The Last Airbender readathon, and I'm so happy that this readathon let me know about this book and prompted me to pick it up. 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely recommend, you guys. If you know nothing about the Avatar The Last Airbender universe, I'd suggest watching Avatar The Last Airbender first before you try to read this book, because it's almost assumed that you already know about the universe. So it's a group book, amazing, wonderful, fantastic. We stand, we love, we absolutely adore this book. The last book, which is the I think it's the 8th book I read this month, which I did not get to finish, but I'm still counting it because I did read half of it during the month of September, and that is God's Grave by J. Kristoff. And the half that I have read, fantastic, spectacular. The first half I've read so far is 5 stars. We'll see how the second half goes in my October wrap up, but I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. It's just so badass, and that's what I love about this series. And as you can see, I had to get the hardcover because with that paperback, I was ruining my eyes. Like, I could feel myself getting blinder by the minute. So I had to get the hardback with the bigger text. Maybe that's a lame excuse, but I have it now and I'm happy, and it looks really, really good next to the rest of the series. So I did not finish it yet. I plan on finishing it in October. I can't wait to see how it ends. Honestly, I think I got spoiled though. The series is about a girl named Mia Corvera, and she's an assassin, and she's trying to get vengeance against the consul, pretty much like the leader of the city, who completely had her father killed and executed. And so she's out to get vengeance for her family who has been killed. And I don't know why I'm so terrible at giving synopsis, but that's the tea. Just to let you guys know, because I just realized I did not tell you guys which category each one of these were for, but God's Grave was for the air nomads. Read a book with a lovable pet. So Mia has a shadow cat, which I count as a pet. The Rise of Kyoshi was the group book. Now I Rise. Okay, so this is the Earth Kingdom Toph Read a Book with a Chosen Family. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is the Water Tribe, and that is Read a Childhood Favorite, which is Katara. On the come up, like I said, it was not a part of the readathon, but I read it. With the Fire on High, that was for the prompt Earth Kingdom Suki, Read a Book with a Beautiful Cover. Days of Blood and Starlight was for the Water Tribe, and this was Read a Book with Interesting World Building, which was Sokka. Between the Lines was Air Nomad Aang, Read a Happy, Hopeful Book. I really enjoyed this readathon. I read a lot of great books, and this might have been, yeah, I think this is my biggest wrap up with 7.5 books. And for me, I know that a lot of people read like way more, but coming from how I was reading last year to how much I'm reading this year, like, I'm really proud of myself. I've read about 37 books in completion this year, which is great because I think last year I read like 6 books in total. 6 or 7, maybe less. I'm not even sure. It was not that many books last year, so I'm really proud of myself, and hopefully next year I can do even more. But I am not a fast reader, and that's fine. It's fine. Just letting y'all know what's up. Here are all the books that I read this month, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.